Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elder News Network pregame show. The football season is finally back, and it's starting off at home with the Elder Panthers and the Middletown Middies. Hopefully, it's a familiar face behind these windows. I'm Eric Mason, but we got a new guest here today. He's going to be alongside me for the rest of this year, George Whitmer. George, how does it feel to be behind the desk?
Well, Eric, I'm very excited for Elder football season, but more importantly, being behind the desk with you. Should be a good year.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic year. We all thought last year was a great year. Hopefully this one will be even better. But just to recap last year, Elder Panthers had a phenomenal year. Went 12-1, went to the regional finals. Unfortunately lost to St. X. But despite that, they won the GCL championship. They went 10-0 for the first time since '93, I believe. Coach James, the offensive line coach, was on the last team to go undefeated. So, George, what's your expectations for Elder this year?
Well, obviously, we're expecting the same thing of reloading a lot of guys, especially on the offense, Eric. But 10-0 definitely not out of reach, and just trying to make it even further in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's super pumped about this year. You know, you got Caden Eastep. He's coming back from last year, third-year starter, the first time ever for Elder to do this. He's also first time that Elder has had a captain be 2 years in a row. So Elder has never had any quarterback or any player, that is, that's been a captain for multiple years. And Caden's the first to do it, and he has really earned his role in that leadership role. So Caden's definitely going to be, a great player this year. And so he's one of the captains. And let's go ahead and cut to some interviews that George did with the rest of the captains.
All right, Panthers, we're here at Elder Football Media Day. I'm joined by senior captain Max Dugan. Max, what does it mean to you to be a team captain at Elder?
It means a lot to me, just knowing that these guys here have trusted me these past 3 years and trusted me to help lead them to success this final year.
Now, how has that leadership stood out so far in your first 3 years at Elder?
So far, last year with the season we had, defensive line was a huge part there, and then this year I'm just trying to get the defensive line to the same standard that we were at last year.
Yeah, obviously that defense was very dominant, you being a big force on that line. But being one of the few returners, how do you set the tone for this year's new defense?
Being one of the few returners, it's challenging, but it's also like a good challenge because you get to challenge other people to put them to the same standard that we were at last year.
Now, how do you plan to challenge the new guys to be to the same standard as last year?
Just tough love. I mean, you gotta get on their butt sometimes, but just they know that it's out of love and that you want them to be better.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Max.
Thank you.
Today, I'm joined by senior captain Nick Casero. Nick, what does it mean to you to be a team captain at Elder?
I take great pride in it, and I'm just thankful that the fellas thought that I can lead them in the right way and teach them the right way to go about things.
Now, Nick, how have you built this trust with your teammates over your last 3 years?
I like to get to know people on a personal level and build a relationship with each and every guy, because not every guy's the same, so you got to know what helps somebody and what doesn't help them.
Now, Nick, obviously a great locker room guy, but also you lead by example. All GCL honors. You're the only returning starter on this offensive line. How have you introduced the new guys to adapt to the new system?
It's just tough love, really. I give them a hard time when we're on and off the field to make sure that they're at the standard that we were last year. We were really physical on the field, and we had a great relationship off the field, so I'm trying to carry that over to this year.
Yeah, now obviously last year the line helped tremendously into winning 10 regular season games and making a deep run in the playoffs. How can we do the same thing this year?
I think if we're physical up front, that's all we really need. I think having all new guys is not necessarily a bad thing because, fresh blood out there, and we're really going to see what we're going to have.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Nick.
All right, thank you.
Hey, I'm joined by senior captain Andrew Paff. Andrew, what does it mean to you to be a team captain here at Elder?
It means a lot. It was picked by my teammates, so I feel like I'm trusted on. I'm chosen to be a leader, and I have to get out there and show my team the way.
Andrew, how have you built that relationship with your teammates that they voted you as a team captain?
I feel like vocally and they look up on me and they ask me questions, do this, do that, and I'm there for them, and if they need something, I got them.
Yeah, not only being a vocal leader, you definitely lead by example. Last year was almost top of the defense in team tackles, and you are one of the few returners on this defense. How do you bring last year's defensive identity to this year's squad?
We got a lot of new faces on the defense, but we have the same schemes, same ideas, so we're just gonna fly around, get to the ball, limit team success, and we're just getting out there to play ball.
I'm joined by senior captain Chase Walpole. Chase, what does it mean to you to be a team captain at Elder?
You know, it means a lot. Growing up, watching the football games, you see those guys out on the field, and not only do you want to be part of that, you want to be a leader, and you want to be one of the people that those guys out on the field look up to, someone that they can see as an example of how it should be done. So I'm glad I get to be that role player for my team.
And Chase, not only in the locker room, you definitely lead by example. Finished third in the GCL in receiving yards, second team all GCL. How do you carry that momentum into your senior year after a breakout year?
Well, you know, you just think of the excitement last year, how much fun it is to win, and you want to go out there, you want to do it again, you want to repeat that, you want to be successful. So every practice, you know, you're giving it your all because you want to feel that feeling of success and bringing the town together, being a good team.
And you definitely gave that to the fans last year. Lots of wins, 10-0 in the regular season. What can you tell to the fans who are expecting the same thing this year?
I mean, we definitely have a high ceiling. I would be excited. I think we have good players on both sides of the ball. I think that, you know, the games are going to be fun to watch. I think we're going to compete with whoever we play. I think that we can have a season similar, if not even better than last year.
Thanks for your time, Chase. I'm joined by senior captain Caden Eastup. Caden, what does it mean to you to be a team captain here at Elder?
Really appreciate everybody choosing me to be a leader again for the second time in a row. Really looking forward to it.
Now, how have you built this trust with your teammates by leading vocally and by example?
No, I've been playing the last couple years, so just building a relationship with each and every teammate. It's a big part of it. Everybody's one team. We all do things together, win, lose together. This is how it goes.
Now, being a 3-year starter, you've played in a lot of big games, especially last year here against Moeller, one of the most complete games we've ever seen. How do you prepare for a game mentally?
I like to stay loose. I don't really like to get in my own head a little bit. Just kind of, I'll shoot some basketball before games. Don't listen to a lot of music, but just kind of stay loose.
And that loose play style has led to a lot of accolades. GCL Player of the Year, first team All-Ohio. What can we expect for this upcoming year?
I'm looking to repeat GCL Player of the Year. Just going to go out there and do my thing and ball.
All right, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for your time, Caden.
Thank you.
George has some good interviews. That's for all the captains this year. It's going to be a fantastic year. All those captains, great guys, great leaders. They'll be stepping up this year. But talking about this matchup today between the Panthers and the Middies, they've got some serious history. George, you want to kind of enlighten us on that?
Yeah, it goes back to 2022 was the last matchup, home playoff game here for the Panthers. A little bit of a routing, 49-7. But other than that, 10-2 series history, Elder leads. But looking into this year's matchup, should be a higher stakes game. A little more to look forward, especially since Middletown was such a strong team last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Fantastic team last year. But between these two teams, Elder is 10-2, but the Middies haven't beat Elder for 8 games. Elder's on an 8-game winning streak. The last time the Middies beat Elder was in 1992, and that was at their home field. Well, now this year they're at the Pit. But as you said, they had a phenomenal year last year. They went 11-3. They went to the state semis, and like us, they lost to St. X, who eventually did move forward to the state finals. But this is a very dangerous team. They got a lot of talent. So some players to watch for the Middies this year is number 52, Jaden Davis. He's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Last year on defense, he had about 50 tackles. 21 of them were solo tackles. He was one of the starters, not one of the main guys, but this year he'll be stepping up in that main role, and he's going to be a threat to Elder because he's a total 255 pounds, standing at 6'3". So he's a big dude, big fella. You're going to have to be watching on him if you're an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman for the Panthers.
Yeah, Jaden Davis definitely has a lot to build on from last year. 8.5 sacks, third in the GMC. Definitely looking for a big senior year. And also on the defensive side of the ball, Jordan Kreider came from Baden, defensive back, big frame, going to be flying all around the Middletown secondary.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was talking to Kate and Eastep a little bit earlier today. They said that they're going to be aggressive on the passing game today, but they also have to watch out for Kreider because he's a threat at the defensive back level. So you got to be watching out when you're throwing balls around his area because he's known to pick some off. Doesn't have any stats in the GMC. As you said, this is his first year with Middletown. But another player is number 15, wide receiver, Will Gibson. He's standing at 5'11", about 190 pounds. Last year, he wasn't the main guy, but he did start all the games. He had about 418 yards received. So he's one of those main guys that a lot of guys were paying attention to in film.
Yeah, definitely a threat to the long ball. Will Gibson didn't get all the looks last year from Middletown. A lot of seniors graduating, but this is definitely his year to be that number one receiver. Had 3 touchdowns last year. Definitely looking to build on that.
Yeah, now some players to watch for Elder, and one of course, number 10, Caden Eastep. Eastep, co-GCL Player of the Year last year. Passed for over 2,400 yards last year, over 900 yards on the ground. So he is an all-around threat, a favorite to be Mr. Ohio football.
Yeah, definitely, Eric. And even more, I think Caden Eastep is such a threat on the ground with this Elder offense. We'll see a lot of draws, but Caden rushed for over 70 yards a game, and he's definitely going to be looking for more.
Now, how do you think Caden's going to react from the difference in the offensive line from last year to this year? Because last year, you had a lot of seniors, guys who played at the varsity level for more than 1 year because, don't you remember, in I believe it was 2024 to about 2 years ago, all those guys were fresh off a JV roster. They were all juniors, and they became seniors that following year, of course, as chronological works. But they had that varsity experience, and that offensive line was the best I've ever seen in my time here.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure to watch that offensive line last year. A lot of experienced guys, but now only Nick Casero coming back from this line, going to have a lot of new faces. But talking to Caden during my interview, he said he has a lot of trust in his guys, and I think that's all they need.
Yeah, and Eastep, not just the front guys, he's also got a lot of trust in his wide receivers, and one to mention, Drew Walligman. Walligman is going to be a stud receiver for the quarterback here this year. Last year, played 12 games, received 42 receptions, I should say, and 377 yards received, had a few touchdowns as well. So what do you think Drew's going to do this year?
Yeah, I mean, this Elder wide receiving core is so deep. And Drew Walligman, only one of 3 or 4 guys to look for, but he's sneaky good, just a very small guy, but can get downfield and get open easily.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, not to mention, you got Chase Walpole, you got Andrew Lyman this year, also got Jake Beer. Jake Beer, he started the Paycor game last year, and he was showing his colors. He's very much a stud athlete, plays multiple sports for Elder. I don't believe he plays basketball for Elder. I know he plays baseball, and he's very talented at it as well. But he was showing his colors at that Paycor game, scored his first touchdown, and it was the inside joke for the team that he gets close to the end zone, but he can never score. And so when he finally got his first touchdown at Paycor, it's definitely a special moment for him. But we're expecting him to definitely step up this year. He is the only junior out of this starting 4 guys at the wide receiver level this year. So he's going to have to step up if he's going to want to get some starts because he's got some great competition in that room. But it's a team game. These guys are a team. So they're going to be working together, and it's going to be very much a threat to defensive backs this year. Now, another Andrew Paff. So what do you have to say about him?
I mean, Paff was one of those guys last year who you always saw him breaking up passes and interrupting plays, and it's going to be the same thing this year. He talks about his defense, a lot of new guys to train, but he loves the attitude and mentality they have when they're on the field. So it should be another exciting year.
Yeah, Paff last year didn't have any sacks, but he had 41 tackles alone. So he's somebody that can wrap guys up, can hit guys hard. I'm telling you, I was looking at some old footage that I got from the sideline last year, and it was play after play after play, Andrew Paff exploding from the line of scrimmage and just demolishing these guys. So he's got a big frame, and he's got a lot of power to him.
Yeah, definitely the leader of this Elder linebacker group, which is already very dominant. They got to get a lot of tackles, especially Pete Forkamp, Brody Turner. But Paff definitely shows his leadership out there, and he leads vocally and by example.
Yeah, and then another one to mention on the defensive line, Max Dugan. Dugan started last year. That was a fantastic front 7 they had last year, but they even got a better one this year. I want to say even better because they are losing a few guys to the linebacker position, but Max Dugan is somebody that's going to be carrying that front 7. They were looking sound in the preseason, and last year he had 11 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, and he's one of the captains this year, as we saw in the interviews, and he's looking to step up this year at the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Max Dugan always looks like he's breaking through that offensive line. Definitely got a lot of quarterback hurries, got on the ball quick, forcing quarterbacks to make plays. He's going to be a force to reckon with this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then talking about the offensive line, Ben Stokes. Now, Ben has been a tight end for, I don't even know how long, at least since 8th grade, probably before that. but he's just a fantastic athlete, so I wouldn't be surprised if he played multiple positions there. But this year, Ben's making the transition from a tight end to a left tackle, I believe. It's either left or right tackle, along with Kirsch on the other side of the line, wherever he is. I believe it's right. But it doesn't.
tackle.
It doesn't matter. He's moving from that tight end position to the lineman position because he was more of a blocking tight end last year, and he did a great job at it. He's got a big frame to him. He's about 6'4", a little bit north of 220 pounds. So he's got a great frame to him, and he's got a lot of strength to him as well. So he can block guys up. He can really close off that edge, and he's going to be a big threat to these defensive linemen and on the opponents.
Yeah, Stokes obviously one of the bigger guys on this line and has some experience pass blocking. Definitely last year when they would be put in at tight end, help protect Caden Eastep. So it's nice to have another familiar face on that line. And yeah, obviously, Stokes, one heck of an athlete and definitely has the frame to do so.
Okay, so we now got all the key players. So now we put that together for the key, some of the keys to the game, I should say. Now for Elder, it's stop the big play. Middletown is known for those big plays, those big explosive plays. However, for Elder, that secondary is not looking super strong this year.
Yeah, well, definitely a lot of new faces in the secondary for Elder. But yes, Middletown last year survived on a lot of big plays, got a lot of momentum, and that's kind of their team identity. You know, they love the long ball, and that's how they get a lot of energy and shift games with their momentum.
Yeah, they'll be using Will Gibson with that as well. And I was talking with some of the players earlier in the week, and they said that they saw on film against Springboro is that they really the only way they scored was the long ball. And so that just kind of worries me because I know the secondary isn't as good as the front seven this year. So that's just something that Elder's really got to buckle down on and lock down. So another thing is the offensive line has to give Eastep time to work. Eastep can do marvelous things. We saw it last year with that fantastic offensive line. Now, if he puts up the same numbers last year, or I should say probably more, with this offensive line compared to last year, because we had a bunch of guys go off to college. Now, this offensive line only has probably about 5 offers total for the entire 5 guys. So I'm not saying that they're not talented. They're not as talented as last year. So they have to show their colors this year. Give Eastep some time. Let him work in the pocket, and also show some blocks to allow him to follow, because we saw his rushing game last year. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. I was in the weight room the other day, and I saw a list, like when they put up like a slideshow sort of on the TVs, and then they have a list of all the players' best squats and run times, and Eastep was in the top 3 for, I believe it was a 40-yard dash. So he's got some wheels on him, so offensive line has to give him some time in the pocket to be able to create those big plays on the ground and allow him to go downfield with the pass.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, Eric, one thing that made this offense so special last year was that those front guys. You know, protecting Caden, giving him time to throw for over 2,000 yards and rush for a few more. But it's definitely seeing some new faces is gonna be a big test this year for some of those guys, and I think it's all about time to develop and getting some game reps. But it all starts on Friday.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now for Middletown, their keys to the game: number 1, work the secondary. They got to work Elder's defensive backs and their safeties, because that's the way that they're going to try to win this game. And if they're going to try it, might as well succeed while you're at it. So they're going to be going for that deep ball, and they're going to have to be very accurate with their passes to their wide receivers down the field, because while Elder's secondary isn't the greatest as it's been, it can still show some threat and get some picks while they're at it. But another thing is being aggressive up front. Don't give Eastep time. Now for Elder's offensive line, that's what they want to do. Give Eastep time, allow him to work. That was just my last point, heck. But can't let Eastep get time. He's very talented. Fox 19, top 19, and he's in the runnings for Mr. Ohio.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about this Middletown team. Very strong in that front. The defense, very good at pressuring the quarterback, as we saw last year, especially Jaden Davis on the defensive line. So definitely going to be a big challenge for this Elder offensive front, and they got to protect their quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to leave it off at this last point. This is a very talented squad we have this year, and it all starts with game 1. Everybody's projecting Elder to go deep in the playoffs, go to state. All starts with today. It all starts with the fundamentals that they create today, good habits, good reputations and all that. Let the haters hate. Don't listen to the outside crowd, and just work. And one thing else, stay fluent and stay prepared for the special teams. 100%. They got to be sound on special teams because that's really what hurt them last year. But other than that, I hope these guys will do a good job this year.
Yep. Definitely going to be a lot of noise and attention surrounding both this big game and both of these teams, but just got to focus on your own side and go win a football game.
Yep. Well, it's about that time. 7 o'clock kickoff coming up next. Thank you for watching. George Whitmer alongside Eric Mason. We'll see you guys next week. Go Panthers.